Katie Williams,
Here.
and of course Carol has been here, so we have a quorum. We also have our town planner, Melissa Santucci Rosie, and our liaison from the Board of Selectmen, Robin Hunter. So we start off our meetings with citizen comments. These are for comments unrelated to the agenda tonight. So I see we have 5 attendees, and if there's any attendee here tonight who is not here for a specific agenda item, basically meaning the 2 site plan reviews, then this is your opportunity to comment. So you can either raise your hand or put a message in the chat. I don't see any. So with that, I'm going to move on to item number 2A, which is our regular business site plan review for a pool at 129 Center Street. I'll turn this over to Melissa, and she will check to see who are the attendees for this particular site plan review.
Thank you, Carol. If you are an attendee on tonight's Zoom and you're here for 129 Center Street, if you could raise your hand and I will elevate you to a panelist. And I think the iPhone 2 is probably the pool guy. You're being promoted to a panelist, and then Phyllis, we will promote you as well, and we will take care of your questions. So what I'd like to do now, Carol, is just share my screen. I think it would be most helpful to put up the plan, and then I can talk a little bit about what the property owner would like to do here. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
All right, great. Let me just make sure I can see it. All righty. So we're at 129 Center Street. I've been working with Robbie from Redmond Design Group. He's provided us with the preliminary site plan review application for Adam Olson and Laura Saucis. And they're looking to put in a plunge pool, which is a much shallower pool than we normally see. As you can see here from the drawing, we have an 11 by 17 plunge pool. That includes the coping around the pool. At the deepest point, it's about 4.5 feet. And then they have a bluestone patio that you can see surrounding the pool. That is about 26 by 34 feet. And as you can also see on the plot plan, they're way out of the setbacks. They're about 77 feet from the closest side lot line, and 123 from the opposite side. No, excuse me. 87 from the opposite sideline. Sorry, there's a couple other notes here off to the wetland. They're out of the resource areas, out of the buffer zones. As you can tell, the lot, there's plenty of room, pools to the rear of the house, typical location, and verified with the contractor. Center Street is a scenic way. There will be no disruption to Center Street. They'll be using the existing concrete driveway, as you can see highlighted here in the plot plan. And I have provided also the draft decision, which I will pull up. We can run through this quickly. So we have our standard template here. The abutter courtesy notice was also sent out last week. We have a updated plot plan based on some minor comments I had, applications in order, and we also have sort of a colored rendering that's showing the patio. And then just our basic findings. Really not concerned about traffic and impact and things like that to abutters. Noted previously in my comments, it's well out of the setbacks. No tree removal at all is proposed for this pool. And they'll be using, like I said, the existing driveway with no disruption whatsoever to the scenic way. And Carol also noting here, provided our standard comments noting the requirement. There was a message in the chat. Phyllis had asked the location of the pool, which has been clearly described in the plan that I had previously showed. And also that we're going to be bringing in off-site water, no on-site use of well water is permitted to fill the pool. This particular plan doesn't have any fencing on it. The pool contractor did note that there was going to be a separate contractor for the pool. So because it wasn't on the plans, I've also included condition 8 for the requirements for fencing per the building code. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And just a question on lighting. Can somebody, is there lighting around the pool or inside the pool or around the patio?
Sure, I can speak on that. There is one low voltage light inside of the pool, but
Okay,
generally, so this pool does have an auto cover, so generally that auto cover is closed in the pool. It's more of a hot tub than a pool, so to speak. So generally that cover is closed, and so the light is not really shown very often as well.
got it. I'm sorry, and who's speaking?
My name's Robbie. I am the
Oh, you're Robbie.
contractor.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Okay, thank you. Phyllis, do you have any other questions? As in a butter? You're on mute. Melissa, do you need to turn her, get her off mute?
No.
Phyllis?
I just
There you
lost
go.
the button. I had the procedure today, so I'm still a little like a little woozy. My biggest concern was not the pool. I didn't care about the pool at all. I wanted to make sure that the water was not going to come from the aquifer.
Yeah.
Because we're really I mean, I'm assuming they're careful also, but we're really careful about the amount of water that we use given the drought situation. And the last thing in the world I wanted was for this pool to be filled with water over and over again. But since you addressed that in the plan, in your opening, that it was not going to be, that it would be filled with something other than aquifer water, then I'm fine.
Yep.
I just, given the state of the aquifer and the other issue we had with the well with this plan anyway, because the well was a little bit off, and we had to go through a planning board to get that approved as well. I just wanted to make sure that the water would come from someplace else.
Sure, yep, no, it's a standard condition of pools, and we're actually working.
Not having a pool? I did not know that, but now I do, so thank you.
I do, okay, but thank you.
I could also just kind of put her mind at ease, as well as these pools are open all year round, so they're not draining and refilling the pool every year. It generally is just running all year round, and they're not emptying it.
Okay, once you said it was like a hot tub, I get it.
Yeah, it's a large hot tub, but
Yeah.
But nice anyway.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm going to sign off. I'm okay then with it. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye,
great.
Carol. See you guys later.
Bye-bye, Phyllis.
Thank you. If I can get off.
Okay, do we have any questions from the planning board members? If not, Val, would you be so kind to read the motion that's
Let me pull that up again, Carol, just for
Yep.
ease.
mhm.
Thank you.
There we go.
So I make a motion to approve the site plan review application, excuse me, for 129 Center Street and supporting materials referenced above in section 2 of this report with the conditions contained here within. Excuse me. Number 1, prior to the issuance of a building permit, minor modifications of the approved site plan and supporting materials may be approved administratively by the planning board chair. Number 2, upon completion of the project, future modifications to the in-ground pool shall be subject to compliance with the zoning bylaw and may require additional review and approval by the planning board. Number 3, all lighting associated with the pool shall not spill or glare onto any adjoining property. Number 4, the applicant shall file for and comply with all requirements pursuant to general bylaw, stormwater management and erosion controls, Chapter 159, as required by the Department of Public Works, including all project review required by the town engineer. Number 5, the applicant shall file for and comply with all requirements of the Conservation Commission. Number 6, the applicant shall file for and comply with all requirements of the Board of Health. Number 7, the pool must be filled by a private water source via truck. No use of any on-site well is permitted. And number 8, the pool shall be constructed with all required fencing per the building code.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second, I can second.
Yep, thank you, Katie. So we'll now take a roll call vote. Katie,
Yes.
Val,
Yes.
and Carol, yes. Okay, it is approved.
Carol, I will promote the engineer and contractor for 15 Hamlin. Brian and John, you should both be able to rejoin as panelists. And I will pull up the plans to talk a little bit about what they want to do. Where'd the plan go? Give me 1 second here.
So we are now moving to the item 2B on the agenda, which is the pool and cabana site plan review for 15 Hamlin's Crossing.
Okay, I should have it now. Here we go. Okay. Just gonna zoom in a little bit here so folks can get a nice clear view. Okay.
It's nice to see
Um,
color coding.
Yes, it helps. The plan's very well done, by the way. Okay, so we're here for another preliminary site plan review for 15 Hamlin's Crossing. This is application has been submitted by David Gross, who's the owner of this expansive property. We're looking at about 28 acres in total. And this is just a very small portion along going towards, I would say, the easterly lot line. So what they're looking to do, I would describe as this as I've described it as a pool compound in the report because it's a lot more than a pool. But a lot of it is existing. So there's an existing pool and an existing pool house, and they are looking to, as you can see here in the drawings, they're looking for an 884 square foot pool house. It's about 16 feet tall from the exterior, vaulted ceiling inside. There is only a single floor. We have stairs and a small deck to the rear that you can see here on the plan. We have a pergola area to the front of the pool house, which opens up onto a beautiful terrace with a pool in the middle, a spa. They're going to have an outdoor kitchen area, and this entire area will be fenced in with landscaping beds. So a fairly large project, but I do want to commend them for going in the current area that they're already in. And they have also received the order of conditions. A lot of these lines represent the resource areas on this particular property under the jurisdiction of Conservation Commission, and they have already received the order of conditions. And I also have prepared our report, which I can run through as well. Little more detail, the pool's 19 by 40 feet, spa's 82 square feet. And then again, just recapping, the pool house is 884 square feet. Mr. Horahan and I had had some dialogue back and forth. They had initially brought us a set of plans that I had vetted with the building department. What was shown on the plans was in fact an ADU by nature of what it had in it: a bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen. The property owner has absolutely no intentions whatsoever to use this as an accessory dwelling unit. They made some modifications to the kitchen area and resubmitted those plans, which I again vetted with the building department. And due to no permanent kitchen appliances interior, they deemed it to not be an ADU. However, being cautious, I have included conditions in the draft decision to ensure we can see condition number 7 here, that this structure will not be classified or utilized as an ADU, and there cannot be anybody living in this particular structure. The applicant's aware of that. They have no problem with that. And again, they have absolutely no intentions. This structure, this property, my understanding, has several different structures in it, a main house and some outbuildings. And again, their intentions are strictly pool and having fun and enjoying themselves in this particular location. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. Again, a question about the lighting.
I would turn that over to either John or Brian, if that's okay, Carol.
Sure.
I don't know if they had lighting on the plan, but I could be wrong. But I know that they could address what their intentions are out here.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can, Brian. Thank you.
My name is Brian Nelson, for the record. We do have a lighting plan. This project was pretty heavily reviewed by the Conservation Commission just about a year ago, and then we went back with a plan modification earlier this summer. So we did present a lighting plan as part of the submittal to the Conservation Commission. All the lighting is either path lighting. There are some wall-mounted lights in the walls surrounding the terrace, and then there are 2 pool lights. But the exception of the pool lights, obviously, all the other light fixtures are dark sky compliant. So they will be throwing light down and not up. The pool lights are required by code to have those. And would just like to add that we have, in terms of other permitting paths we've run down, we have reviewed and received approval from the town engineer for the erosion control and stormwater bylaw. We reviewed the drainage system with him, and we have reviewed the plans with the Dover Health Department. The agent gave us a couple minor comments, which we addressed and submitted a revised plan this morning. So we've reached out to all the other departments as well.
Wonderful. Thank you. Katie and Val, any further questions on the plans?
I just had
I
a
don't have
question.
any.
Did I see that on the plan, is there a full basement under the pool house?
Crawl space, I
there
would
is-
say.
Yeah, there is a basement, and I believe that's for some of the mechanical equipment for the pool.
And
storage.
okay, and is this because I'm only seeing the construction area and not the entire property? Is this located toward the center of the property, or is it near a property line, or how far away are we from the property lines?
So we are about 140 feet away from the easterly property line, and I can share my screen too if you want. I've got a locus plan that shows the entire property if you want to see that. But the closest edge of the pool house is about 140 feet away from the easterly boundary line.
I think those are my 2 questions. Thank you.
I zoomed out a little bit, Val. Does that help for
Yeah,
context? Okay, and this is where my cursor is the main house. So sort of, I guess, towards the east. It's just so big, you can't get it all on the screen.
great, thank you.
Okay, well, hearing no more questions from planning board members, Val, would you like to make a motion, please?
Let me just
you mind
pull the
pulling it up?
decision back up.
Thank you. Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah, of course. And there we go.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the site plan review application for 15 Hamlin's Crossing and supporting materials referenced above in section 2 of this report with the conditions contained here within. Number 1, prior to the issuance of a building permit, minor modifications to the approved site plan and supporting materials may be approved administratively by the planning board chair. Number 2, upon completion of the project, future modifications to the pool compound shall be subject to compliance with the zoning bylaw and may require additional review and approval by the planning board. Number 3, all lighting associated with the pool compound shall not spill or glare onto any adjoining property. Number 4, the applicant shall file for and comply with all requirements pursuant to the general bylaw, stormwater management and erosion controls, chapter 159, as required by the Department of Public Works, including all project review required by the town engineer. Number 5, the applicant shall file for and comply with all requirements of the Board of Health. Number 6, the pool must be filled by a private water source via truck No use of any on-site well is permitted. Number 7, the pool house shall not be classified or utilized as an accessory dwelling unit. No person or persons are permitted to live within this accessory structure. Any change of use of the pool house shall be subject to review and approval by the planning board in accordance with the zoning bylaw.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Katie. So without any more comments from planning board members, we will take a roll call vote. Val,
Yes.
Katie,
Yes.
and Carol, yes. Okay, it is approved.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Appreciate your time. Have a good night.
You too. Okay, that brings us to item number 2C of our regular business, which has to do with how to apply an address to ADUs.
Yes,
So-
thank you, Carol. So I have become informed that the planning board addresses, street addresses here in Dover. And, now that we have these ADUs, there's been some guidance from the state, on how they are going to, or I shouldn't say how they're going to recognize, but how they would like municipalities to, recognize accessory dwelling units. I provided that guidance, to the board. I want to thank Amy Gao for bringing this up at our land use meeting, and worked with the fire department and police department. And they, from my opinion, it's really a public safety issue when it comes down to it. You arrive somewhere, there's a call, you immediately go to the primary dwelling. God, I even remember being a kid and having those little stickers on the window so everybody knew where people were sleeping. So now we could have something in an attic, we could have something to the rear, we could have something in the basement, we have garages, we have out structures, we have all different types of things. And to make sure that we know, or the life safety, fire and life safety folks in the community know where they're going, I defaulted to those officials here in Dover as well. And they have come up with a numbering scheme and pattern that works for them, and just presenting that to the board this evening. In discussions with the chiefs, recommending that when we do approve an ADU, we assign the address at that time so that this is tracked from conceptions, essentially from the zoning entitlement through the building permit, through all the health permitting. And it's very clear how this particular unit is going to be identified. They've come up with 4 options or 4 different categories that they would like. And we have, the first one is in the main house with the same entrance. The second one is in the main house with a separate entrance. The third one would be a detached building from the main house. And then the fourth would be a unit that exists in a garage structure or a barn structure. So again, different options, different numbering, very easy for them to know where to go when and if they arrive for a call. So I wanted to share this with the board members in the spirit of communication and just keeping everybody updated, and anyone that's also watching, that we are making sure that we're staying on top of things here.
Well, Melissa, thank you so much, because we've been approving ADUs now for a couple of years and we have not had that. So I'm glad that this has all been worked out. Of course, it begs the question, what has happened with the ADUs that we have approved and have been built?
Yeah, Carol, I haven't gone back to inquire. And if they haven't been assigned something, I would make a recommendation. Maybe it's just an R, that's a typical one for rear, or the AB type of designation, that they could in fact apply this type of numbering situation. Also probably share this information with the post office as well. People are going to be getting mail and things like that. So just trying to have some uniformity and identification. But I can double check on the existing ones. I honestly don't have any idea.
If you could just out of curiosity and
Yeah.
for consistency's sake, I have no idea what the planning board has done in the past in the office about applying numbering. So
Okay.
we should try to have it consistent. So if you just let us know at the next meeting, that'll be great.
Yep.
Great, thank you.
I think that's a good question that you brought up though, Melissa, about the post office as well, because would they need to
Yeah.
have their own separate mailbox or their own separate fire number, or is this all going to be, how does it work?
I don't know, like with mailbox, like, yeah, like, can you put, I don't know, can you have one mailbox for two addresses? And I'm not really sure, you know, I mean, I have a two-family, I have two, but it's all the same family. So we just, it's all the same last names too. So all the mail gets, it's kind of funny. They all have the same last names.
The bills go one place and the
Yeah,
junk mail goes
right.
Yeah.
somewhere else.
The
And
checks
the
go the other.
Amazon packages go the other place. Yeah. I'm not really sure. But just again, like thinking about like who needs to know where this is and where to bring
Yeah.
stuff would be, you know,
Right.
and then you also have to report to the state, how you're going to be doing this. The other thing
Mhm.
that the state has tasked the state has tasked local municipalities through the building department. They need to keep a list. You know, we give them the zoning permission to do something, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be built. But when it is built and occupied, we need to report that annually to the state. I think it's sort of the state's way of, you know, trying to keep track of how this, you know, new regulation is doing in an effort to, you know, diversify housing stock and produce more, you know, different types of housing. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how that plays out. And it'll be nice once we get the online software because we'll be able to potentially track that and run reports and things. I don't have a grasp on the volume, but I don't think it's overly abundant. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pickup in the ADU applications, you know, this year and the rest of this year and especially next year.
Yeah, I think we did, memory serves me, maybe 4 or 5 in calendar year 2024. And then we've done some now, so.
Yeah, I was
yeah.
looking in the drive. Yeah.
Right, yeah, we could check the town report too, which I don't have right here, but yeah, so it would be good to pick up, and obviously, you know, the state passed the AHA, the Affordable Homes Act, with the new ADU regulations for the purpose of building ADUs, so I can understand why they'd want to know how successful the
Yeah.
law is. So,
Yep.
okay, yeah, so if you could just give us an update at the next meeting on some of the questions that were asked tonight about that, that'll be great.
Yep.
And if you can also include all this in the planning board's bus book, that would be appreciated as well.
Yep.
Any further questions on this item? Nope, okay. Town planner update. Back to you, Melissa.
Thank you, Carol. So coming off, I don't know, has everybody come off their MBTA high yet? I'm not off mine yet because mine hasn't ended. So I'm going to be, I told Felicia I need a couple days. So tomorrow we're going to get going on putting together all the materials for the AG. I've already reached out to our technical assistance partners at Horsley Witten for some GIS shape files that we're going to need to submit to EOHLC. I've reached out to our zoning map contractor so we can get the updated map. That's another thing that we're going to have to file. So started chipping away at that, but we're going to go a little more full throttle on that over the next couple weeks. I'm not sure if the compliance application has changed. But confident we'll be able to get that in. I'd like to submit that before December 31st, well before that. So I'll be working obviously in keeping Carol and everyone else updated. And also if there's any, you know, hiccups along the way, making sure folks are comfortable with that progress and are aware of what's happening with that. Also going to be looking at the site plan review. I know I've mentioned this a couple times. I've looked at it. I'm going to be looking at it in a lot more detail. I do have some ideas and thoughts. I'm going to be starting drafting some language that we can look at and just ideas I had shared with Carol. I kind of do a diagnostic when I look at zoning bylaws, what works, what doesn't, what needs to change. You don't have to fix something that's not broken. Often look for conflicts in language, sections that contradict one another. So while it's, yes, it's looking at that section, it's also looking at other sections that might reference that section. And I'm getting more and more familiar with the bylaw as I continue to do this, seeing some things that look really good and also making a short list, wink, wink, of other things that might need a little lipstick. Also looking at the 2026 meeting calendar. I'll be reviewing that with Carol and circulating that in short order. I don't know about you folks, but I like to populate my calendars way in advance. We all have busy lives, and I know that we all make getting to these meetings a priority as well. And that's probably what's on my target for the next couple weeks. Just continuing to look at things, get familiar with things, just try to improve processes, communicate with applicants, making sure that the board is getting the appropriate materials and plans that show everything. So if there's been some back and forth when applications are filed, but it's important to have good plans in the record that demonstrate what people want to do. When things come into question, projects they end up, being built in a way that we didn't anticipate. So continuing to do that and meeting people and just doing my thing. Thank you.
Very, very well, I might add. So I might ask either Melissa or Val just to update us all.
Oh,
on
yes.
with the tree work.
Yes. Val, why don't you take that?
Okay. So Melissa and I met last week. We kind of hammered out some edits that we needed to do for the scope of work for the tree bylaw that the committee is going to work on. And we will be providing that to the MAPC, who we are scheduled to meet with over Zoom this Wednesday. And hopefully we can get them on board and get started with their assistance on the tree bylaw. So that's great. We made some great progress. We also finished the flyer for the stormwater management tree preservation aspects. So I sent that over to Kevin. He was really happy with that. So that's ready to go. And so we are hoping to have a public educational forum. We were hoping the end of October. We'll see if it ends up being October or November, but that flyer will be available to any residents who are able to attend the meeting. It'll be in person. I'm hoping that we can reserve the community space at the Carroll Community Center for it. And it will be basically an overview of the tree bylaws that currently exist in Dover, as well as any gaps that we identify and feedback from residents about things that they are happy with or things that they would like to see adjusted. So those are kind of the big things that we're working on right now.
And
Just a follow-up comment, Carol. The
Yep.
flyer was very well done. I'm not sure who's had a chance to see it. And I'm just going to make a suggestion that is circulated, to the health department, conservation, building department. I'm going to post it out on our bulletin board as well. Just getting people familiar with that, even just that it exists. Let me say that. That way that they're aware of. I'm sorry, Carol, what?
I'm sorry, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, Mr. Nelson was on earlier, did a lot of work in town, and he's kind of built that process into his local process. So we just want to make sure other people are doing that as well.
So when all this was coming about, I mean, it's just been what, a 2.5 year process and about 16 months to get a flyer.
Yep.
We had addressed the possibility of including whatever this document was going to be, whether it was a flyer and whatever, with the material that would be handed out by the building department, as well as the planning board or Concom. And in other words, all the boards and commissions and departments would have it. So any applicant that came in, because you never know which they're going to hit first, Board of Health, Concom, Planning Board, Building Inspector, whatever, would all get this flyer saying, don't forget. So just something to think about. Melissa, maybe you want to talk about this at the next land use meeting as to how that.
I plan on bringing it. I plan on bringing it there, Carol. I couldn't agree more. I just, building department, I mean, if they don't get it till then, okay, but that's why I suggested, you know, earlier.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, Melissa.
Health and conservation and planning board.
Yeah, and
Oh, I'm sorry.
certainly when we have the online permitting system in place, then that will be visible to all the applicants, regardless of where they start.
Looks like
Yes.
Robin
Yep.
has her hand up.
Robin,
So Chris had mentioned that they were working on this sort of welcome to Dover packet that they would give new homeowners, and it would have all these bylaws in there. So, you know, just to make people aware of it, so you can make sure that that gets in there as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
oh, that'll be great.
Yeah.
You know, and it may be worthwhile to send one to all households first, not just people that move into town. Just say over things have changed. Here are some of the new bylaws you should pay attention to.
Well, I have on a list to discuss with the Board of Selectmen, actually, between now and the next town meeting, the fact that, you know, you can say that ignorance is no excuse, ignorance of the law is no excuse. However, when you're a resident of Dover and you have these bylaws being passed by, you know, a few hundred people at best at town meeting, and you have absolutely no idea that what's been going on at town meeting, which the majority don't seem to have, then perhaps the town should consider, you know, after every town meeting of sending out something, a one pager or something to every household in town saying, these are things that impact you as a homeowner.
Yep, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that.
We'll see how many people read it.
Well, you know, as we know from,
Sorry, Carol, to burst your bubble. It is a great idea, but
listen, as we know from a week ago to this evening, right? You can bring people to water, you can't make them drink. You gotta give it a try. So, you know, not reading it isn't our issue. At least we can say they got it.
right.
Okay, anything else, Melissa, from your?
I think that's it for me tonight. Thank you.
Okay, one other thing I will mention, and Melissa and I are going to meet on this tomorrow, is that, you know, it's now October. We had a town meeting in May. We had a bunch of warrant articles, and we sort of have to finish all that process. You know, we have 4 easements that still are open. We have bylaws that still have not been approved yet by the Attorney General's office. We have flood maps that may or may not be on the GIS layer, and so forth and so on. So we'll be going through all that as well. And Melissa and I had preliminary discussions on having sort of like what the selectmen do with Mike Blanchard, where they have
Yeah.
their fiscal year priorities and goals. And there's a formal list, if you will, so that we don't forget to get updated on the major projects. So we will be implementing that, if not at the next meeting, the meeting after that. But whatever form that Melissa thinks is best for her, so that we can all keep track of these major items and the goals that we have for each fiscal year. And one last thing from my standpoint, so since Katie became a full voting member of the planning board back at the town election in May, we have not had an associate position filled. And we've been saying all along that once we got through all the MBTA stuff, that we would spend some time and try to get that going. So we will be doing that. We will be using the same procedure that we used that was used to get Val as an associate position, and then Katie as an associate position. Of course, they both moved up into full voting members. And that is basically using social media and all the communication channels we have. And Chris and Suzanne have already started to draft some stuff based on what we did back in 2024 when we ended up with Katie. So we'll be doing that through social media. We will get the resumes in. and we will interview, and then we will vote, and then our recommendation will go up to the Board of Selectmen. And then whoever that person is will, of course, have to run at the town election in May through the caucus in March. And hopefully it'll be a little bit smoother than it was last year. So, in addition to all of social media, please, think about who might be interested. And sometimes, you have to push and pull folks at the same time. So if you can think of folks that might have any interest or some skills and so forth, please reach out to them. And, I think we should probably have a goal that by the holiday season, we'll have an associate member on board. And with that, I have nothing else. Does anybody else have anything?
Carol, just quickly, for the future business, it came in after I did the agenda, but we have a scenic road application, 152 Walpole, I believe. It's one, Corrigan, I believe it is the property developer. This was a situation where they had undertaken some work. I had asked them for some plans and a description of what did you do and what do you want to do. I made the call that they need to file. So they filed last week for a scenic road. So I'll take a look at that tomorrow and get the noticing going and whatnot. I'll have to back into that. It might not be on for the 20th with timing. But if not, it will be on for the next meeting. I believe we have 45 days to hear that particular application. And then just circling back, I did remember one thing on 93 Dedham had come up. Val reminded me the other day, there was some correspondence early on from the town administrator that Aquarian had indicated that they would give water to that particular property for a quote townhouse development. Townhouse development isn't allowed there under that particular zoning. So I have had no communication whatsoever from the property owner and their plans. There is a very large sign out there. I looked at the sign bylaw and it exceeds what is permitted. So I have asked the building department what's going on with that, and I haven't heard back yet. So I will check back in person when I'm back in the office tomorrow and get an answer on that. Thank you.
That's the property that Bill Motley had asked us about.
Yeah, is it 93? Val? I think
93,
it's,
right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, Corrigan again.
yes, it is him, yes.
Yep.
I was asked about it by a resident at the MBTA town meeting as well.
Yeah. The sign bylaw, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like 8 square feet. I mean, it's
Mhm.
very, 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 very conservative what you're allowed to put up there. So,
And
you know,
time
that-
limiting.
Yeah, I think
And
there's
time
a
limiting.
time limit as well.
And,
Oh, yeah.
when we did that signed bylaw, but in the last 4 or 5 years, I think it was, we recognize the fact, quite frankly, that all the bylaws in the world don't really mean much unless they're adhered to.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And the zoning, and that the zoning enforcement officer actually pays attention to it. So,
My favorite quote, zoning is only as good as its enforcement. That's one of my favorite quotes. So,
Yeah.
again, I apologize for that kind of slipped my mind, but thank you, Val, for bringing that to my attention and back on that.
okay, thank you for that. Yeah, it's enforcement is a big issue. I don't know if we've done any enforcement on the noise bylaw that we passed. I don't know if there's been any enforcement on our trout watering limitations. Probably haven't been much enforcement on our signage, so it is an issue for us. Something to consider. Okay, anything else? Robin, anything to add from a selectman's standpoint?
No, so the one thing just to add to Melissa's list, because it's on Mike's list and you guys offered to help, is for the housing task force. We really need to go back to those RFPs and make sure that they're all aligned so that we can begin the project.
Yep.
And as I had mentioned before, I had gotten a call before town meeting from Toll Brothers regarding the Junction Street lot, but I haven't heard back from them.
Right.
Just to follow up on that, Robin, I had, you know, town meeting was last Monday. I don't know, it was probably Tuesday or Wednesday, sent up to Mike, like, let's get going on the interviews for the RFPs.
Okay.
You know, it stuff takes time, you know, so
I
let's
know.
get those scheduled, and I'm very, very, very eager to get going on that. I did get a call from Mr. Mulligan over at Toll Brothers.
Oh, he called you. All right.
Oh, he's been calling me all along. Yeah, he's been
Okay.
calling me all along. So, I happen to know a lot of people, so
Okay.
helpful at sometimes. But so yeah, they're you know, obviously there needs. I explained to him again about the housing task force, and that we are going to be looking at the community as a whole, and getting some professional support to see what's going to work best for these different types of pieces, or if we're
Right.
going to be targeting pieces, and looking at some flexible zoning to help try to do something a little different.
Right. Well, that's great.
Yep.
He actually contacted somebody with knowledge rather than me.
Oh, no. I said, don't start with me. You got to start at the top. Top down. That's how we
And
do
I
it
said
here.
to him, well, you can give me a call after town meeting and set something up with the planning board. So it, you know, all circular.
I'll tell you, in the last week, you know, I think the phrase after town meeting has been used a lot by a lot of people.
Right.
It'll be nice to be able to get back to a bunch of other stuff in every
Yes.
department at every level.
I am just so happy that we are not preparing for another town meeting.
Shoot us.
Right.
Me
I told
too.
Alicia it was the gift. It's our gift to her.
The town came out. It was amazing. I mean,
It
200
was,
people.
it was, right. And I mean,
Not involving schools. It was just incredible.
right.
And the discussion was good, the questions were good, and of course, the vote was fantastic. So I don't think we could have asked for more.
Well, Carol, I think all of you, kudos to all of you. You know, the education process was painful, but done really, really, really well. And, you know, the fact, you know, this is where people complain about Zoom, but the fact is you got between 60 and 100 people in these information sessions. And without Zoom, you would have been lucky to have 10. And then there are people that I know went back and watched them,
Exactly.
because they couldn't make it. So really, there was no excuse not to educate yourself on this.
Right, and my sense was that most people that came, based upon the questions, were pretty well educated. And
Right.
now with the community center open, you know, we can do those, okay, we can add on the next big project, you know, in-person meetings as well.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, we can evaluate if they work better, but for me, it's, you know, it's a lot easier to dial in from your home while your kids are doing homework, and
Yep.
you can listen and keep yourself informed.
Yep.
But I mean, all of you did a phenomenal job. And, you know, Melissa, there were a lot of compliments about the quality of the presentation. And, you know, most people in town are very impressed with your knowledge. So,
Thank you, Robin. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
as am I.
Great.
And Robin, thanks to you as well again. So
And,
it was
you
a great.
know, speaking of Zoom, I ran into Katie at Rocky Woods, and had she not heard me yelling at my dog, she wouldn't have recognized me, and I didn't recognize her. So you just don't recognize people when you see them mostly on Zoom.
Oh, well, that's my big problem. Absolutely. It's amazing. Absolutely. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:52?
Excuse me, Madam Chair, minutes, we have all the minutes.
Oh, the minutes. The
All your minutes,
All
Carol.
those minutes. Listen, I'm 90% done with the minutes from this meeting
Good.
already. So I don't know why it took so long, but anyway, so we have minutes of August 18th, September 8th, September 15th, and September 29th. They were all submitted to you as part of the package. Are there any questions or edits to any of them? Okay, seeing none, I would like to make a motion to approve all four minutes as submitted. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, Val, thank you. We'll take a roll call vote. Katie,
Yes.
Val,
Yes.
and Carol, yes. Okay, and I'll get you the minutes from tonight, Melissa, by tomorrow.
Love it. You hired.
Okay, now, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, Val. Do we hear a second?
Second.
Okay, let's take a roll call vote. Val,
Yes.
Katie,
Yes.
and Carol, yes, and it's now 7:54. Thank you all very much. See
Good
you
night.
on October 20th.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
everyone.
everybody.
Everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye.